you're going to give him a grade, and then you're going to choose which one you think is the best speaker.
We'll write down one name.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then they just relax, because that's what happens when the team's better. Well, that's because you just can't keep it up. After a while, you just can't keep it up.
Okay. Me too.
Nothing will be
Oh, we're
as
recording
Austin.
I'm recording it.
I feel like I'm in some sort of bizarre camera store where we're all practicing whether our cameras work. When I said take a picture, I meant like 1 or 2 pictures, and then, you know, let's.
I'm recording too.
Okay.
Our question is number 1, and our answer is that Life of Pi serves to fulfill Martel's hunger to create a work that will be both successful and have that spark that brings to life a real story. After the devastation he endured, realizing that his story, set in 1939 Portugal, was emotionally dead. Also, it seemed that Martel needed a work to be proud of, something to change his apparent shame for his career as a writer into pride.
Oh my god, it's 10 o'clock. The paper's due in like an hour and a half on Blackboard. Okay, Sean, you just need to breathe, calm down, please. Hold yourself together. Okay, what am I going to even write about? Oh my gosh, I don't even remember the topic. Oh, here it is. The topic is it possible to feed oneself emotionally? I don't even have research on this. Okay, think, Sean. What does every IB student do in a time of crisis when there's a due date in an hour and there's a deadline in an hour and a half? Oh, I know. I'll look to the interface. Oh, look. Someone just posted about the SYA Interviewer, a new piece of technology produced by IBM in which it allows you to recreate the author that was once dead by simply placing a book on a platform. This is really, really odd. Well, according to the instructions, I just press this button here, and by means of fiber optic displacement, the pad will appear before my eyes. Oh my gosh, the pad's underneath my computer. So I guess I simply just take the books and place them on the pad. Well, here's The Life of Pi by Jan Martel. The Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. And this assortment of science books in which Abraham Maslow and Charles Darwin are mentioned. Okay, so according to the instructions, I press this button here, here, and here. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Are you guys really who I think you are?
I'm Jan Martel. Where am I?
I'm J.K. Rowling, and I have no idea where we are.
Oh, Darwin. I don't care where we are. Just give me food. I'm hungry.
No, I ain't ever having this.
Well, okay. I see that your arm is broken, and I believe that you did not die because of a car accident where you broke your arm or anything like that. So there must have been a malfunction with that, with the transfiguration process. Anyways, my name is Sean Merrow, and you guys are now in the year 2050, in which it is possible to bring individuals back to life for a brief period of time. But as to why I brought you all here, I really desperately need your help. I'm writing this paper on whether or not it is possible for one to feed his or herself emotionally. Do you guys have any perspectives on this issue?
Yes, it is completely impossible to feed yourself emotionally. Completely impossible. It is ridiculous, absurd. Does anyone even read my work?
Well, I beg to differ.
Do you now?
As do I. While writing my novel Life of Pi, I sought emotional nourishment.
In what way were you emotionally hungry? What were you hungry for exactly?
Well, frankly, I wanted to create life. I wanted to create miracles. I wanted to say I was a doctor when anyone asked me my profession, but I could not say so honestly. As an author, it is difficult to write stories with significance and meaning. I did not want another story emotionally dead. I did not want a story without breath and without life.
Oh my gosh, this is really good stuff.
Hunger. Physical hunger in all aspects refers to survival. Creatures adapt. They adapt for survival. The greatest goal for all known creatures on the face of the planet. Right. Food and water being necessities for life only aid my argument further.
In conjunction with Darwin, my theory concerning self-actualization, in which I proposed in my article, A Theory of Human Motivation in 1943, specifically states that there is a certain hierarchy of needs in hopes of reaching an individual's true potential. The most imperative aspect is the physiological aspect, such as breathing, food, water, sexual intercourse, homeostasis, and excretion. The elements that concern us most are food and water in terms of survival. Food and water are truly the greatest forms of hunger in which a person undergoes.
Wait 1 moment there, kind sir. When I was writing the Harry Potter series, it was out of desperation. It was a means of survival. Because I was suffering from poverty, the only choice I had was to write this book, to be able to survive. That being said, the emotional nourishment that the series fed me was the hope that it gave me, and the life I was able to give to my characters.
Well, dear lady, it was not finished. If only you were more patient and composed. My triangle, my pyramid is not so one-dimensional. Self-actualization, spontaneity, morality, creativity, they are all only attainable through emotion and family. Achieving one's true potential is not possible without the hunger for love, for intimacy. Do not be so judgmental. I side with Darwin because hunger is specifically linked to physical need. With regards to your question, sure, it is not possible to feed oneself emotionally without first having fulfilled your physiological needs.
Oh my gosh, this is so inspiring. Why haven't I used this piece of technology before? Okay, well, as writers, do you believe that that other writers write for specific reasons that vary? Do you think that it depends whether or not it's a poem, novel, or thesis? For example, Pulitzer used nationalism in his writing for monetary gain and political influence. Meanwhile, Albert Camus rejected emotion with his theory of absurdism in many of his acclaimed novels such as The Stranger and The Rebel.
Finally! Authors that actually know what the heck they're doing.
That was entirely inoffensive, Charles.
Okay, well, on another note, hunger is a worldwide pandemic. Do you believe that literature could even be referred to or compared with physical nourishment? Knowing that 15 million children die each year of hunger, especially in the early 21st century.
Well, if you're looking to start publishing books on pancakes, then yes.
Okay, well, honestly, I have a deep passion for reading. I can devour a book just as quickly as I can a meal when I'm hungry.
I completely understand you. Whenever I am going through a difficult time in my life, I look to writing. I feel as if I have no one else to turn to. Writing allows me to release all of my emotions and feelings. I feel emotionally liberated and fulfilled.
Also, before I left this pie, I tried to feed myself with psychology. Since it read as a how-to manual, all I had to do was recreate the conditions and I could be happy or I could be sad. And if I failed in that, then at least I knew why I felt the way I felt.
Contrary to your statement, at one point in time, I went on a diet in which the main goal of this plan was, obviously enough, to lose weight. During this diet, all I could ever think about was my physical hunger. This made it physically impossible for my mind, to focus on any of my emotional relationships, which connects to my hierarchy of needs, otherwise known as my pyramid of self-actualization.
Yeah, I agree with you there. When I was 17, I was hungry almost all the time, and really wouldn't care about anything other than food. It was just the main necessity that I was ever worrying about. Therefore, emotional relationships and anything else similar to that were just, well, thrown out the window, ignored.
Frankly, I don't believe you. That is complete rubbish. Abraham, while you were on your diet, you must have had some desire to have an emotional connection with others. And Charles, you must have felt some need to be emotionally connected to others while you were a teenager as well.
Your points are entirely invalid. Maslow and Darwin. It is completely impossible for anyone to survive without some interaction or some emotional relationships. Take Pi's relationship with Richard Parker.
Your claims are lacking all logic and knowledge. You don't have any evidence where your logic or Jesus without my psychological studies. The kind of work that this man has brought to biological needs, my psychological studies, have created you with literature writing. Your logic is way up here. This is way down here. That's where it's at. Perhaps you studied my pyramid more to maybe understand my psychological studies. You have no self-realization.
Stop. Enough arguing. Please. Okay. You know what? Anyways, regardless of that very, very rude and loud, extremely loud argument, I have to thank this SYA interviewer, because without it, it would have been impossible to write this paper. At this point, it's like, 11:20, and you know what? I'm just done with this. I am going to submit this into Blackboard right now. I really could care less whether someone could feed his or herself emotionally. And on that note, I just have to say thank you all for giving me the inspiration to write this paper.
Well,
Regardless, you're welcome.
Okay, well, your guys' time has come. In approximately 3 seconds, the transfiguration process will reverse.
Oh, transfiguration?
Alright, well, I guess I'm done.